Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sunshine with another video. This is the Learn to Love video, which I absolutely love because there's so many things that you can learn if you would just see in the eyes of love. Sometimes you'll be so caught up in ego that you can't even see the love in the situation for other people. And sometimes we forget that people are human just like us and do make mistakes just like we do. And sometimes we're so quick to judge. So when you learn through love, you actually have more patience and you can see things differently that others don't see. Anything you want to know about my videos, description is below. Thank you for watching and coming. Remember that messages can be the whole video, half of the video, part of the video, one blood clot sentence. So take what you need to, leave what is not needed. There's this girl on YouTube, her name is Pink Alchemist, and I love the beginning of her videos, what she says, and then the end of it, she'll be like, live your life, which I find is hilarious. One day I'm going to memorize exactly what she says. She's so funny. Anyways, Sea Spirit, I ask that you give the most intuitive message to anyone that is watching and it needs to hear. What messages can they learn through love that is going to help them on their current path, their current journey? You got codependency. What exactly about codependency? What else do they need to know in regards to the matters of love? Any more messages? Romance angels. Straight out said nope. What other messages can whoever that stumbled on this video need to know in regards to the matters of love? What about love can they learn from? They really like me reading a lot. I swear this card came out last time as well. So we have here codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Now, when it comes to codependencies, you can have codependencies in a lot of different things. Sometimes people just think it's on a matter of a person. It's not always. It can be also drugs, drinking. It can also be thought in a sense. It's just like you're so codependent on always not trying something new that's like your shelter, that's like your safe spot. So you basically, there's something that is repeating in your mind, because right here after you get the child card and it says your love life is being affected by children. Now, what I get from this card, it's a matter of more of your childhood. There's something that happened in the past for you growing up that has made you become into this energy of a codependency, of having to have that fix, whatever that fix is for you, that will basically give you that cup of love. And it's something that's actually holding you back. It may have helped you before to get to where you currently are, but now it's something that you need to release. So there's something inside of you that you're holding on from your childhood. Remember, when it comes to childhood, sometimes it's not always, the people exactly that you grew up with. Sometimes it's also the people that you encounter with. You can meet someone for one day and they could say something that you could possibly just hold on for the rest of your life. People do have that effect. So there's just a matter of going back and seeing what it is in my life have I saved and become codependent on that is affecting my love life. Now it says, for the last card, which is the worth waiting for, divine timing is at work, in your love life. Now, a lot of times what happens, sometimes when you don't have, okay, thing about spirit is spirit, who we believe in, I say spirit or universe, they have a plan, and sometimes you're like, nah, yo, I was supposed to have that like 2 years ago, and spirit's like, that's coming in 5 years, boo boo, or whatever they say, right? And sometimes we get so caught up in like, I want it now, and not realizing it's not always about what you want. It's more about what you need, because what you need is something that you need to survive. What you want is something that you could potentially live without. So Spirit's trying to let you know that, listen, all these things that are playing out currently in regards to the matters of loving yourself and loving another, remember, that could be, your partner, that could be your family, just love in general. I just got I just got the feeling from her of her being like scared, like having this sad energy, like she's just looking off, and she's just sad, she's confused. She's just holding these flowers and she's just looking there, and she's like, when someone's like devastated after they just heard some sort of news? Sorry to clear. That's what I feel from this. That she's just devastated, just looking out. And it's something that basically you're holding on to. Now, when it comes to the children card, it has a boy and it has a girl. And also has 2 dogs. So there's a lot of a pairing thing going on, and also has to do with light and dark. So if it's not necessarily a person that has created this codependency effect on you, it could just be a matter of you and yourself. So like a yin yang situation, which you, sorry, I said the wrong way. That would be yin. That would be yang. Basically the good energies, no, I shouldn't say good energies, the energy that comes off is light and the energy that comes off is dark. Now, sometimes people just think automatically the shadow side of you is always something bad, but there's so much beauty that you can learn from it. Just like I was saying at the beginning of the reading, learning to see things through love, you can learn so much from it. Now, the next cards that came out is, I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself I am love and miracles are natural. So, remember how I was saying that there's something from your past that's in your mental state? And here, this card, it brings up back the mental state, and it's letting you know that if you create thoughts that are more mindful and more meaningful throughout your day, and you remind yourself that, I am love and miracles do happen naturally. Miracles are not just once in a blue moon like the stereotype will say. No, you really do create the life that you want by the thoughts and the actions that you do on a daily basis. Don't think just, I do it once and then it's going to happen. It doesn't work like that. The way the law of attraction works is the more you feed into it, the one that you feed into the most is the one that's going to manifest the most. Now, there's times when you'll be feeding into something that you don't want, but you don't realize that you're doing it. But unfortunately, the law is a law. Whatever you feed into more is what you're going to get. Now this card, the next card is when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So remember how I was saying, again, when it comes to your perspective of how you're viewing things, if you have more faith and you change your mindset, you can see such beautiful things. I've mentioned before in another video about Napoleon Hill, and he had this video. Some people get a little thing about the name of the title, but it's a video that is basically him talking with the devil. Now everyone's just like, the devil. And the thing about it is, what's interesting about the concept is it's basically like him talking with his conscience, and it's his conscience projecting what he would view as the devil. It takes a lot of power with your mind to be able to not lie to yourself in that situation, actually give the truth. But at the end of the day, he's still giving the truth that he knows. Another person can do it and can have a totally different, most likely will have a totally different outcome than he did. But the point was, I remember I was listening to it one time, and back when I used to take the bus, and I just remembered, and they were talking a lot just about pretty much just changing your perspective, how you see things. And I was miserable. Who wants to be on the bus, right? Nothing against anyone that has to be on the bus. You gotta do what you gotta do. Hey, I know if I had to say, do I want to walk or go on the bus? I'm gonna say the bus. But if I'm gonna say a car or a bus, I'm gonna say a car. Is what it is. Not knocking nothing, not judge anyone. But in that moment, I did not appreciate being on the bus. But it was what I had to do. And I was in that motion. I didn't like where I was coming from, or even having to just be on the road. I'm a Virgo, so I'm very like earth. I'm very homebound. I like being at home as much as I like ventures and stuff. I like being home. Anyways, I was in a certain low vibration, and I remember the things that he said in the video, and it changed my vibration, because he basically was just like, look at things in a different light. And I can't remember if I closed my eyes or not, but basically I just remembered that the grass was so much greener. The trees were so much lively. The wind was blowing. The birds were chirping. It was such a bright, beautiful day. Mind you, seconds prior to that, I didn't see any of that. And all I did was I remembered what he had said. He said something, and it changed my mindset. It's like I clicked in at that moment what he says. Like, you know those times when you hear something, you don't fully get it, and then you'll be walking down the street, you're like, oh, that's what you mean. And that's exactly what happened to me in that moment. And it was almost as if I was high, because it was very like dream like fuzzy, like the visions, like I could see, I'm looking outside, but it was just like, it's almost like it had this beautiful like white kind of little foggy mist. It was almost as if I was in a dream state, and it was very beautiful. And all it was me changing my perspective, changing my mindset. Now the next card is, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. Now, if you have a spiritual animal, and birds is one, you can definitely research what birds mean. This just relates back to the same thing of having more faith. See, when you don't believe in the higher good, I didn't like that wording, but if you don't believe in you don't have faith in something, then you don't have this fearless thing. Because at the end of the day, when you have faith, like, no matter what happens, this is gonna I'm gonna get this. Like, example, say you're saving up for a car, and you're like, no matter what, I'm gonna have my car by this month, by this time. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna get all the money. It's gonna work out. It's gonna happen. And that's so funny. I love butterflies. I surrender to a power greater than me. That was literally, I was just explaining this part. Okay? And it has a lot to do with surrendering. It really does. Okay? When you do have more faith, it is almost in you are surrendering. Oprah Winfrey, I believe I've said this before, but Oprah Winfrey, she had this situation where she wanted to be on the movie Color Purple. She read the book and everything like that. She went through a whole thing. You can watch an interview if you want, of her talking about the story. But long story short is, she thought she wasn't going to make it. She tried. She didn't understand why, God gave her a little crumb of it and let her taste it a bit, and then it not come true. And she thought so badly of herself. She thought that she was ugly. She wasn't good enough for the part. She was too overweight, whatever the situation. So she went to this camp. And I think that she called it was a fat camp. I can't remember the name. But it was this camp. And she was just running on the field. And I think she was saying it was like raining and everything like that. And she's running and she's running. And she just remembers she was singing this prayer that she grew up with. And it's like, I surrender all. I surrender all to the blessed Savior. I surrender all. I may have missed a couple words. But there's a lot of beauty into that. Whenever I get into a state where I'm like, I'm just so fed up, I'm just like, oh my God, like, why is this happening to me, or whatever situation, I'm just fed up, and I will actually repeat the prayer. I have it saved in like notes, and I will say it, and I will continue to say it. And it's funny enough that, like, I actually physically feel the change in me of me being more hopeful. And it has a lot to do with surrendering. You're literally saying, I surrender all. I surrender to the higher being. And you're letting go of the situation. You're praying that you get clarity and allow yourself to just release anything that you're holding on to. So, just goes back again to these two cards of whatever happened to you in your childhood is making you have this codependency behavior. And you just have to trust the universe that it's all going to work out in divine timing. Now, the next card is energy flows where my attention goes. Okay? Is back to this. It's kind of repeating. Pretty much, the cards are literally repeating itself. That's what I feel, because it's the same thing that I was saying moments ago. That what are you putting in your cup? What are you actually filtering out in there? Okay, like if you want to be thinner, stop telling yourself you're fat in the mirror. When people come up to you and they have something to say about your weight, if you can't say something back to the person because you don't want to have any drama or conflict, have a sentence in your head that reverses what they say so that you repel it. Back in the day, I'm rubber, your glue, whatever bounces off me sticks onto you. I probably messed up the line. Who knows me personally knows I'm classic for that. But it's like the same thing. It's like having a security guard guiding in what you take in and what you don't let into you. It's this whole system, because unfortunately, as much as you can tell yourself all these things, sometimes people will say things and sometimes it will stick on to us and we will take with it. And they are only lashing out on you of something they see on themselves. And unfortunately, some people don't want to deal with themselves, and it's easier for them to lash out on other people, and they will. And you're higher than that. You are a higher being that doesn't allow yourself to get to that stage of what they are doing to you. You are a lot stronger. Definitely, you're a lot stronger in this situation. I actually want wisdom cards. So I like this wisdom deck because it's a really good deck if you just want a little bit more clarity on the situation. So I that you provide the most intuitive answer to the reading that we have here. What is the message that you can provide to anyone that has stumbled on this video? What messages can you give to them that will help them let go of this codependency, that will let them heal from their past wounds that they grew up from a child, that will let them have the energy to let go of these fears, to have more faith, to be able to surrender and understand that they are a loving and true being. What other messages? Focus came out. Conclusion. I always have to check if it's in the camera. Deception, beauty, and wishing. What are they wishing for? What are they wishing for? The Warrior. But you have them. Anyways, the Focus card. Very straightforward. Sorry, hit the camera. Very straightforward. About focusing. The 1-7 at the top breaks down to an 8. 8 is about abundance and manifestation. So when you focus more of what you want, okay, when you focus more of what you want, you'll definitely manifest things into your life. These miracles that they're talking about, Spirit, will definitely come into your life when you focus more on what you want. You will have an end to this chapter of this codependency and this childhood situation that's holding you back. You definitely will have a conclusion to it. There's so many cards, jeez. Conclusion to it. Now, the deception card. The thing about deception is you could be lying to yourself. And whenever I think of thoughts of like that, I think about ego. And your ego can tell you all the things, and you can think that it's true. And we're all human and it all happens to us. That will be like, yeah, that's why I'm not doing it. At the end of the day, it was your ego and your fear manipulating you from doing what you really want. Now, the thing about the deception card is if you aren't true and honest to yourself, the way that the universe works is you won't deal with it. I'm going to show you. And it kind of is like one of those things where it's like, listen, change is going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. And if you don't do anything about it, then I'm just going to have to intervene and step in. Okay? Because it's a lot about this energy that I'm feeling has a lot to do with just you. It doesn't have anything really to do with a partner per se. It literally is about you. Now, next card is Beauty. This card always reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. Always. Because of the flower. For anyone that knows it. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is a beautiful story. It literally is of a man that, oh, don't knock me if I get it wrong, okay? I haven't watched it in a while. But Beauty and the Beast is about a man that basically didn't help out what would seem to be like a spirit. Someone that came to the door that was hideous and just needed something, and he turned them away. And basically this old lady put like a hex on him to understand and listen. Someone's going to have to see that your outer is just your outer. They're going to have to love you for who you are in order for the spell to break. And with this flower, if you actually see, the camera kind of shows it, that this is actually like the old breaking off and color is actually coming through. And long story short, he ends up finding the love, and she sees him for who he is. She looks past the beast, and she sees the beauty. Um, I just got in my head basically, if this may not resonate with everyone what I'm gonna say, but a lot of times there's things that has happened to you in the past that you cling on to, that you also don't tell anyone about it. So when you do meet this love in your current life in your 3D, you don't know how to open up to them and tell them about these past wounds that you faced as a child, and it can put you in this energy of holding back, like, I'm this beast, they're not gonna love me, I'm so ugly, just look away, you know. But just know that true unconditional love will see you for who you are, no matter what skin tone you have, no matter what imperfection that you think is there. They will see you for your raw, true beauty, and it's such a beautiful thing. I do wish that everyone gets to experience that in life. It's a very, very beautiful thing. Now, the next card is the wishing card. And you see there, they're sitting at a well, and they're just waiting. Actually, is that two people? No, it's a one. Turnee. Anyways, sorry. This is the first time I've seen this card. The wishing card. Now, the 19 at the top actually goes down to 1. Sorry, it breaks down to 10 if you add it, the 1 and the 9. And 10s are like about, ending cycles. It's kind of a completion stage. It has to do a lot with the 1, because the 1s is about new beginnings and creation, and the 0 is about infinity, eternity, and cycles, and the 2 just putting it together. Just letting you know that you're pretty much at a close to what you want, and you're wishing for something. Now, when I asked what you're wishing for, the Warrior card came out. Now, there's two meanings that I get from this. From the meaning of this Warrior card is just letting you know that, hey, Spirit's got your back. You don't have to worry about anything, which Spirit has been saying it throughout this entire reading. Like, don't worry. I got you, boo-boo. You're going to have this in life. But also, I get the wishing of you wanting to be this warrior. And the thing about it is, you are. You're just not seeing it. You're not believing it fully. Okay? Now, this card also has a 2, which is about balance, intuition, and also being, when you see 2s, especially you see triple 2s, it's about being in the right place at the right time, knowing that what you want is coming. You don't have to overthink anything. Things are gonna work out. You just have to get more of a balance in your life, because not only just mindset, it could be pertaining to everything. Okay, so just to sum up the reading, everything in regards to this whole midsection basically just has to let you know that, you are love. Miracles are happening to you. The more that you lean into having faith and putting positive energy into faith and letting go more of fears, it definitely allows you to surrender. And once you surrender and you understand that, everything that I think of boils back to energy, and it'll flow to me in regards to my intention. You do have to work on your codependency situation, whatever is affecting you. It's definitely something you want to go back and look into. It is something that is from your childhood, or at least something that you've had for quite a while. Something that, when I say quite a while, maybe like 5 years, 6 years, Like it's something that you've had for a long time. It's like a deep wound um, that you have. It's something that may not be traumatic, uh, may not be traumatic to others, but it's very traumatic to you, and you've had it for a while. You just have to understand to trust that the divine is definitely has your back in the situation. You don't have to worry. Everything's working in divine timing. Continue to focus on the good and less on the bad situations. You will have a conclusion in your chapter. Your book is going to come to an end, my friend. Work on your deception. Okay? Be aware of when you are deceiving your own self. Okay? I know it's a lot easier to notice when you're deceiving someone else, and it's a lot harder for you to notice when you're deceiving yourself. So notice when you're deceiving yourself, when you're not telling yourself the actual truth and seeing yourself for this beauty instead of seeing yourself as a beast. Okay? You don't need to wish anymore. Okay? Spirit has your back, and you are the warrior. Okay? So it's all about you loving yourself more, seeing yourself as this divine warrior. Okay? This card, I also get a lot of water from it with the blue. And waters has a lot to do with, love and relationship, your intuition, your emotion, your connection, your subconscious, right? So you need to get more clarity in that codependency, that thing that you're holding on, that you've had for so long, is affecting every matter in this. Okay, how you love yourself, how you love others, how you love your partner, the relationships that you have with them and your friends, your family, your intuition, what do you believe is actually true, what you don't believe is actually true. Spirit can be showing you things, or spirit, you know what, that could be spirit shows you things you're not seeing it. Straight up. you know there's a lot to do with your emotions, getting your emotions, balanced and in check, looking at the connections that you have, going back and filtering out, any energies that sometimes you can get yourself in such a good energy, and you can have someone else around you that's negative that can pull, okay? Or at least makes it harder for you to stay in your warrior energy that you are. So watch the company you keep, okay? You've heard this probably growing up for years. Always watch the company you keep, and there's a lot of truth to that, okay? Be able to believe in yourself more. Okay. I feel like every reading I want to call warrior. So I don't know what to call this one. But anyways, just remember, I love you. Remember to love yourself. Fill your cup with so much love, so much joy and abundance. Okay, remember to love others. Okay, this whole video is about learning through love, and a lot of it was about loving yourself and understanding that you do deserve these things that you want, these things that you've been wishing for is out there for you to have. You're going to have it. Just stay. Anytime that negative thought comes, it says, nah, I can do it. And when that other thought comes, well, why? Who are you? Or, what makes you different? It's just like, I am different. I am unique. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am divine. I've been put here for a purpose. If there wasn't a purpose for me to serve, I would no longer be here. Okay, I know those are some strong and powerful words, and some people may not like to say that, but you have to understand time is limited on when you are here. And if you are here, that means there's something else that you still need to do here. Okay, I'm not saying anything out for anyone that has passed on. Okay, condolences for anyone that has passed on for you, but understand that sometimes they lived out their purpose, and they just have some sort of higher being to do. I've had people that have passed on in my life, and they've come back and they've helped me. Currently down here. And I know there's not a lot of people can say that, or at least not a lot of people are know and are aware that, they do have people that pass on that do help. So sometimes that could be the higher purpose for that person. So understand that you are here for a reason, and that reason is to shine, okay? Remember to give love and light. I wish you love and light, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your fabulous day. And thank you for staying for this long ass reading. Bye.